Happy Wine Wednesday, everyone. Did you like that little swisher? Okay. Anyways, for the announcements today, first of all, I am sipping on Pinot Noir. Let me know in the chat what you're sipping on. I see we already have Melinda and Zen Ginger with us. What, Ray?
Have a problem with your voice.
Yep.
What's wrong with my voice?
Yep. Just you.
What do I sound like?
Garbled.
Okay.
Like, Cheryl.
Garbled.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Every time Cheryl sounds good, I sound bad.
Well, we're also getting a. I'm showing you up as with a live post, and also you've got a clock running. And Melinda just said you sound funny.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm trying to fix it. Okay. Oh, okay. I know why. Am I fixed now?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, say something else.
Woo!
Yeah,
For letting me know, Ray.
For?
What clock? What are you talking about?
Hi, everybody.
To your right there, over the sea dragon, leafy dragon.
I'm getting ready to tell you, guys. You're jumping the gun. All right. Hey, Vincent, jump in if you want. Of course, as usual, you're welcome every week. You can't get on tonight. Okay, no problem. But I see we have Alicia with us, Shiloh with us, Melinda with us, Zen Ginger with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I was trying to say when I started, I'm sipping on Pinot Noir. Let me know in the comments what you're sipping on. And Vincent, I did get your message. I finally responded to you and saying that Robert King wants to come back on Wine Wednesday. For the record, Robert's welcome any week he wants to jump in, any week. But I will contact him and set it up so that we can do another special guest, have him on as a special guest, and maybe have some giveaways and stuff during that. So thank you for letting me know he wants to come back. I will get on that right away. Also, it shouldn't look like a clock. It should look like a QR code. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Also, Vincent says he can't get on. He needs the link.
He needs a link.
I'll send Vincent the link. But anyways, let me tell you the scoop real quick. Holly, can you send Vincent the link while I'm talking?
I was just going to try. Yeah.
Okay, you try. And Vincent, if she doesn't get it to you, I will in a minute. Excuse my hair, guys. I rushed home. I didn't have time to curl it. Okay, so what I'm saying is.
Code there.
Okay, so what I was saying last.
But there's also a clock beside it.
Okay, I'm not sure what the clock is. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, see, I don't know why that's like that, but we'll figure it out. I'll play with it by next week. But the reason there's a QR code there is because I was telling y'all last week about how we're going to play with memberships. And again, it's just a way to support the channel. It's just a fun little thing. We're going to see how it goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, cancel it. It's not a big deal. But it's a way for you to support with like $3 a month, or there's different levels. The first level, you get to use the emojis and Zen Ginger. We talked about it last week. And you get a badge by your name and all that good stuff. So it's just something cool we're trying. The middle level, there's like you can request to have the 4 of us meet up with you on a time that's not Wine Wednesday. Like if you're having a problem or if you want to ask questions while we're not live, like you're just uncomfortable with it being shared live, then there are just different member perks. So check it out. The way you check it out is by using that QR code. Or there's now going to be a link in the description every time. The long way.
I joined it last week.
I know you did. Holly's my first member. I did. And you won't see, I don't think you'll see the badge by her name because of the fact that she comes in through a different software. She's not really on YouTube. So we need some people like you guys out there to try this out. Even the highest level, you'll get a shirt. Now, the website is still not done. It's almost done, and the shirts will be there. But I need you guys in the audience to tell me if it would be more fun to pick a shirt from the designs I've already done. Maybe we could have a design contest if anybody's artsy, or if we should have maybe a members-only shirt that's cool design. Plus, you can only get that. You won't be able to buy it on the website. You only get it if you're a member. You guys let me know what you think, your thoughts about all this. It's just a way for, us to bring more people in.
I need to see the choices again.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, guys. But everything will be on the website, and I will post as soon as that's up. It will be by next week, I promise. And then you'll be able to see the shirts. Like if you're the expert level of a member, you get a free shirt. But we got to decide how we're going to do that. If you want a member only shirt, like I just rambled on about, but the options will be available by next week on the site. So just stay tuned. But we're going to try to do some cool stuff with the channel because I've kind of just let it flow, and we need to bring some more people in and make it more fun instead of us just chatting every week. Not that that's not fun, not that I don't love chatting with you guys every week, but you know what I'm saying. Try to expand, help more people, blah blah blah. Ray, were you gonna say something? No? Okay, you froze for a second. All right, did you get Vincent the link, Holly?
I did, yeah. I
Okay,
just sent it in
Vincent,
his message.
let me know if you have any trouble getting in anyways. So today is open chat though. I was working on the site and working for real. So I didn't have time to like put anything together for tonight, like a topic or a speaker. I'm going to get back on that too, guys. But so it's really open chat. Anything you guys want to chat about. I can brag about my new seahorses again. They're so cute. But after last week, I do want to tell you, and these are Vincent seahorses in a tank with a Holly seahorse with Ocean Rider seahorses. So they're all jumbled in this tank. And usually we say, don't mix even same species, try to stick with the same place. But in my case, I know and trust each of the people I'm buying from. And, like the Ocean Rider seahorses were the only ones in there. Well, no, they were with Hollies, but it was a process. I didn't throw them all in at once and hope that it just worked. It was a process, and I trust and know the people I'm dealing with. So that makes a difference, at least to me. I mean, Cheryl would probably say quarantine anyways, but the other point that I want to make, just because I would not advise it for anyone new, is that my tank is literally like a quarantine tank. It does have rock in it, but it's mainly run by K1. And it's got all artificial, no sand. So if there was any kind of problem, I could either pull the problem seahorses out and put them in their own hospital tank, or if there was a big problem, I could literally just pull the rock and treat the tank. It's that easy. There's like 3 or 4 pieces of big rock in there. So I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just explaining that in my case, it was a long process, and the tank is not like sand and rock and stuff that you can't pull out quickly and treat. That being said, right after last week, I know using Dan's risk tolerance level, I know, Ray, I'll let you talk about that in just a second, but I do want to tell you, everybody in the audience, that last week when I showed you guys the seahorses and everything, right after the stream, we have a Wine Wednesday chat that like Cheryl and Vincent and Ray and Holly are in. Oh, that's another one of the member perks is you'll get added to that chat so you can ask questions on the side. But what I was going to say is I sent a quick video because right after the stream, I noticed that the 4 seahorses, well, Aphrodite was hiding behind a rock. She's like, leave me alone. It's my world. It's my point. But the 3 seahorses were the 2 Vincent seahorses and the female from Ocean Rider were all sitting, checking each other out, playing with each other, dancing. And the male from Ocean Rider that I've told you guys in the past, I think is the problem. I think he either can't do the pregnant thing or the girl just doesn't like him. He was over in the corner sulking because nobody wanted to play with him. I'm telling you, this male is just like, there's something, how there's guys and men in the world or women in the world that just nobody likes. The seahorse. Vincent's here. Let me join Vincent. Hey, Vincent, what's up?
Maybe we should hang out with Aphrodite.
Maybe now that he's not getting anywhere with the gal, maybe he'll go be friends with her and they'll be rock buddies. Sounds good. All right, Vincent, anything new with you?
No, nothing new. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
Well, I had a doctor appointment, then I had to do a water change.
Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just did a water change and then went to my wife's office that she's never at.
Well, that's funny you said that because Holly and I both do we're just insane, I think, because Holly and I both do our water changes on Wednesday.
Yep.
So go through the
Wednesday.
water change, then we meet up with you guys. So if there's ever problems, we're right here to talk about them, I guess. But anyways, let's see. Holly, anything new with you? What's going on with you? Miss Holly?
Oh, so I got my new reef thing into, I used to call it the grow out tank, but everybody's grown up in there now. So
Mm-hmm.
I started calling it the Tiki Lounge tank or the Tiki tank because
Yep.
it looks kind of like a tropical oasis now. It's pretty cool. I can send you a video of it. It's got a fake reef thing that I found on the PetSmart website. I think I showed it to you guys, didn't I?
Yeah, but I don't
Or
think you showed it to us in the tank. So.
yeah, I didn't show it to you in the tank. I think I just showed it to you. But anyway, it's in the tank now and it's cool. It makes bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the 2 char chambers in there now from Robert King and all their other little things that they've had before are
Mm-hmm.
still in there. So it looks pretty cool. I'll shoot you a video so you can see it.
Yeah. Shoot me a video and we'll show it to everybody.
I will do that. And then also while I'm doing that, I had a friend, Tana, that I've been helping, and Cheryl's been helping because her little girl, the first one that she had was a gift to her, I guess, from her mom or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always like smaller and weaker looking.
Mm-hmm.
She came from an LFS
Mm,
and she stopped eating.
right.
And she'd had her for 4 weeks and she'd been fine. All of a sudden, stopped eating
Mm,
and did the freshwater dip and figured out she had parasites.
mm,
She already had her on antibiotics on the Furan 2 for a few days. So she just got her formalin
okay.
today. It arrived. So she got her first treatment with the formalin. The other seahorse so far seems fine. She has 2. And she was wondering, I think she's at a softball game, so I don't know if she can join us tonight, but she was wondering how soon should she expect the formalin to kick in?
It
And
depends on how bad the infestation is.
Is she doing long term, short term? How's she using the formalin? What is she
every
doing?
other day for 3 treatments.
Okay. All
The
right.
long term, I guess they call that.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's active. She looks at the food. She looks interested in the food, but she's still not eating. She acted like she felt better after the freshwater dip. So she saw improvement after that, but she's still not actually eating. And she's got live food in there with her too to
Yeah.
Well,
entice her.
that's strange. Were you
Yeah,
going to say something, Ray?
remember,
Go ahead.
remember
No,
what
it's
after
just,
And
that.
Cheryl's seen the video. I shared videos with Cheryl. When
Okay.
if she's only had it for a month, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to have to figure out what actually caused the infestation to happen. Now, it's got to be a stressor of some kind, or it's got to be a water quality issue that's allowed the expansion of the bacteria count or the parasitic count. But the problem with that is in the period of a month, there's no way the water should have deteriorated that fast.
I'm raising my hand. I just wanted to say before you go on, Ray, the one thing that I wanted to add to my old story, and it affects this story, is that every person that I buy seahorses from is a breeder of seahorses only,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I know that the seahorses are not not only are they not with other fish, but they're not in systems that lead to systems with other fish, because when you talk about an LFS, chances are good that even though if the seahorses are in their own tank, clownfish, all the other fish their water is going to be mixed. So they're getting this, they're getting exposed to all of the things, unless you see that they have a standalone tank. Like I do have a fish store that has a standalone Seahorse tank that's not attached to any of the other systems. But Ray, don't you think the reason I was saying that is because don't you think that, like, I remember Dan saying a lot that, you know, a lot of times the reason you can't figure out easily what caused the problem is because it doesn't affect them for a good month. Like when I had my heat spike and then my seahorses got the bacteria thing, it was a good 2 weeks before I saw anything. And then the third week they had black spots. Fourth week they stopped eating. And I was able to trace it back to the temp spike because that was the only thing that had happened. But in her case, she's only had it 4 weeks. So it could have been a seahorse that
And if
got
you
parasites. And
if
yeah.
if you remember right, because we saw her and Cheryl and I agreed, and Tina too now, is this seahorse was sold that looks like too small. And it doesn't look right. The shape of it, it doesn't have a full body. It was more string-like when she got it. You know how that's straight up and down, the curvy body they
She looked like
should
about
have, you know.
2.5 month old fry is what she looked like to me, just based
gosh.
on the size of the torso
Yeah.
and the amount of development. She was way underdeveloped for the age that she was given. The other thing too is some of this stuff. Remember, when you get parasites, they'll typically leave lesions in the internal tissues in their oral cavity and stuff like that. So you've got two problems. You've got a parasitic infection that's infesting and creating lesions that become a haven for bacteria. So you've got, it's multiple problems, and what you want to do is treat what's going to take them down first, which would be the parasites, and then go back in with an antibiotic. And what happens is so many people, they go to the local fish store. I had one yesterday. Seahorse isn't eating, it appears to be having problems breathing, etc. And they sold Romaricin too, which is specifically designed to treat gram-positive bacteria.
Negative.
Yeah.
Maricin 2 is
And I
gram
explained
negative.
that to her.
Fish store gave her
Wait. Time out. Everybody's talking at once. Ray, you said it's actually gram negative that Maricin treats?
Maricin 2 is gram negative. Maricin, straight
Yeah.
Maricin, is gram positive. And most of what we need is gram negative. So Maricin 2
Gotcha.
is the correct one.
Well, and I explained that to her, but she went to the local fish store because she wanted to grab something that would help the seahorse, and they sold her the Maricin too.
But that's what
Yeah,
she would
that's
need then,
kinda what-
is negative.
That's kind of what
That's it.
happened to
So it's
Tina.
just-
They gave her ick treatment.
And the other thing is, it can be hard to find if you don't know where to find it. It's hard to find furan 2 formalin, 37% formalin. If you don't know what you're looking for and where to look, it's not that easy to find.
Yeah. I sent her the link to it in Messenger on Amazon, where the same one that I got.
Well,
but I think, a lot of the problem is the LFS stores, they don't know that much about the seahorses.
Right.
So they don't intentionally give bad advice, but they give bad advice.
Well, and then I had another one that she thought the seahorse had a fungal infection. And then I explained to her, they don't have scales. There's nothing for the fungus to really stick to. And normally what happens when they get a fungal infection, we call it webbing, because it looks like they're in a spider web, basically. And that's a whole different
thing.
Mess.
Well, I would say, first of all, hi, Robert. I wanted to make sure to call you out because we love when you come. And I told Vincent, you are more than welcome to jump in with that same link any week you want to come and share what's going on with you and your clownfish, or talk char chambers or whatever. But we do want to, I'll get with you on the side after the show, because we do want to schedule you for like a full-on special guest episode again, because we get tons of questions about you and about your chambers and everything else. So, but I wanted to say hi. Okay. So then back to the problem. So your original question, Holly, though, was when should she
So
start seeing
she's
results?
wondering when to expect it to start working. And I think Cheryl kind of answered that it depends on how bad the seahorse is, sounds like.
And in this case, I really hate to even say this, but in this
Mhm,
case, there are just times when you,
mhm,
without knowing, buy a
mhm,
seahorse and the seahorse is too small, likely in a system with
mhm,
other, water from other tanks and etc. And sometimes there's,
mhm.
I mean, hats off to anyone, especially who tries to save the seahorse, but
Mhm,
you just can't blame yourself when it's that kind of situation. I
mhm,
mean, once you have the knowledge, you don't do it again. But um,
mhm,
I just, if I were like, I would say keep in touch with you and then
mhm,
Cheryl and us.
mhm,
And I think that with formalin, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I've only had to use it a handful of times, and it's been a long time since I used it. But
mhm.
in my case, it was pretty right away.
Yeah, and I was telling her, "Well, I've only
Like you
used
treat
it with
fry with it.
fry." Yeah, I've only
Yeah.
used it with fry, but when I treated the fry, they stopped scratching right away.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's
Okay,
and that's
within
why
the
there's
day.
a and that's why there's a short-term dip, right? Is because you give the seahorse a freshwater dip. If nobody else in the tank's having problems, of course, Ray is
Mhm,
correct that you need to look at
mhm,
why the thing happened and decide, try to determine what caused the
mhm,
problem. Get
mhm,
on your water quality, even if it's not water quality, still spruce up the water quality. But
mhm,
you do a freshwater dip, they're flicking, so you give them a short-term bath. Some people choose to do it that way.
mhm,
In this case, the seahorse isn't eating. There's all these extenuating circumstances.
mhm.
But like when you used formalin, didn't you? Or oh no, you did the freshwater dip and she was fine, right?
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
I've used freshwater dip for the adult seahorses, but I've never had to treat them with formalin. So I don't know if it's different for the adults than for the fry. But like you said, when I used it for the fry, like if I saw them scratching, I'd give them a dose of formalin.
And
And
is her
within the day, they
they
weren't
weren't scratching,
scratching.
right?
So that's how I
Was
know.
her seahorse? I'm trying to remember exactly. Was the seahorse flicking and stuff too, or was it just that she went?
No, no, but in the
Okay,
freshwater dip, she did. She was
but the
scratching
main
her face with her tail. I have a video of it and
Yeah.
freaking out.
I'm so sorry. I get so confused because I just remember the one that had the female with internal GBD. So I'm getting them confused.
Yeah,
But in
yeah, no,
this,
me too. I was hoping too, but
okay,
this
but it
Dana was just as of last week. So I think
so the bot.
e-
Wait, let me recap just to make sure I got it. She's had this seahorse 4 weeks. She got a new one how long ago?
the newest one is fine, and she got it, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't think she hasn't had it as long. The first one, the one that's sick, was gifted to her. She didn't even
Right, you
choose
said
it,
that.
I don't think. Her mom gave it to her.
Right.
And she shared it on here. I have video of it that she sent me, so I can probably share that. I'm sure she'd want some help,
Well,
looking at it.
shoot it to me, or you can share it
Okay.
yourself. You know how, don't you?
Yeah, I do, and I just shared you my tank, so you can
Okay.
look at that while
Well, no, I
while
mean
I'm
like
getting things together.
you can screen share yourself if you want, or
Well,
I can
I
do it.
could, but I'd have to get there because I have
Okay.
it on my
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger. It's easier for me to upload it to you than to hunt for it on
Okay.
my
All
thing.
right. I'm gonna go look for that. But I'm just like I'm collecting data here, and I know Ray's and Vincent are thinking in the background here, but you know, number one, the seahorse probably wasn't healthy to begin with. Such a shame. Mom didn't know. Nobody's to blame here. It just sucks.
Mhm.
Too young, all these negatives. And then I'm a little bit concerned about the second seahorse because the first seahorse was, if reacted to the freshwater dip, so obviously has a problem. Would you treat both in that case, Ray, or wait to see symptoms?
Well, first off,
Okay.
I want to get back to the fact that this stressor or the cause of this is in that tank somewhere, because the Seahorse didn't have the symptoms when she first got it. So something has happened in that tank since she got it for the parasitic count to increase to the point that it's affecting the eating. And possibly something happened when she added that second Seahorse. I don't know. Uh, Usually, the most common thing that we find is the water quality that over time builds up, and that can help the parasitic load to increase. But in this case, in just a month's time, she'd have to be dumping food in there to be able to get the water quality so bad to cause this problem in such a short period of time. So somehow she has to determine what it is. But
So you don't think that there's any way that the Seahorse had something and it just
seahorses
this
always have parasites.
right?
They're
So I
never
mean,
without, but they do not expand without something that stresses them, or without water quality that just increases the count
organics.
because they have more available food.
So
But
I
wait, I
just
have a
sent
question.
you
Wait,
some
wait, 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 wait.
pictures.
Hang on. I have one question because I understand what you're saying and I don't disagree with what you're saying. However, when you talk about mixing two different species in a tank, which these could be two different species, we don't even know what species the first is. But when you talk about mixing two different species in the tank, yes, each of them always have parasites, and the organics in the tank or the buildup in the tank are usually what cause the parasites to multiply because of available food or whatever, like you just said. But when you mix two different species, they can't handle the other's parasites. So what I'm saying is, what if that seahorse got a parasite it couldn't handle from the fish store, and it's just multiplied because she can't handle it? Is
I
that
think
not logical?
in my
I don't know.
experience, it's not so much the parasites that can't be handled, because the parasites are pretty common, especially for what they get in the gills. It's the bacteria that
Sure.
varies quite a bit and is the big problem. So I'm not as concerned with her adding that second one from a different source and introducing parasites. Um, but there may have been something happen when she put it in there that caused some stress in the
And I
tank.
Gotcha.
I have
think
no
it's
idea what the
from the
procedure
same
was.
store too. She's
Yeah.
also got two baby clownfish in there that
Oh
I
shit.
warned her about. Yeah, that's that's
Ray
There's
just found his
There's the
stressor.
stressor right there.
Well,
yeah.
it gets frustrating too when you're trying to asking all these questions, and the reason you're asking these questions is you're trying to get a handle of how long this has been going on, what they might be carrying, and then get the person to do the diagnostics. The problem is you ask all these questions, and oftentimes you really don't get answers, or you ask for pictures and they don't have a camera, and I understand that. But it makes it much more difficult on this side to try to help somebody if they can't give you a lot of information about them.
We
Sure.
needed to
So
know that
let's start.
clownfish
I
story
sent
right at the
you
start.
Yeah, I guess
pictures.
that. Wait,
Joy.
hang on, Holly. I guess that should be like the first question we ask: is what else is in the
So
tank?
let's look at this and I'll explain to you because I sent two, they're side by side.
Okay. All right.
And the
Hang on. Let
one
me get
on
it.
the left is the 6 Seahorse, and this was when she first got it.
Oh my goodness.
The one on the right is one of mine that I was raising at roughly the same
Yeah.
size. And I was trying to show her the difference. I said, I think it was too small and weak and had something wrong from the very beginning.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That looks
Like I
like a
said,
fry.
this is the one that looked like about a two and a
And
half month old fry
she
at
bought
most.
it, they're captive bred. Her other one's from the same fish store. They're captive bred from something aquaria in Florida, she
Well,
said.
don't say any names. We don't say names,
So
but so you're saying that
they
this
are
picture,
captive bred.
but this is
And
your
see,
seahorse?
yeah, so see,
Okay.
mine's about the same length as hers, about 2 chain lengths, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the body difference. I was trying to tell her how thin that one is with the huge head.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had fry similar to that didn't eat for whatever reason or wouldn't eat and didn't ended up not making it.
Didn't thrive. Right.
Didn't
Right.
they didn't thrive and they never got bigger. Now the next thing I forwarded you a video of her freshwater dip.
Okay.
Yep.
I
So
don't know
you
if
can
we should
that
show this. People, don't freak out. Don't
and you
freak
can
out.
see she's gotten bigger. So she said
Yeah.
she grew since she got her. So she said she'd been eating and she looks, you can see, much bigger than the other one, but still little.
So
But
y'all,
I
I
mean,
know
the
this
way
looks
she's
scary.
scratching her
Hang on, hang
snout.
on. Yeah, but this looks scary to anybody watching, but this is the reaction that you're looking for. I mean, the seahorse is not being hurt. It's just irritated because the parasites in the gills are going crazy, busting up, right? I mean, so don't be fearful. This is good for the seahorse, actually. And it helps her know what's going on. Obviously, the seahorse keeps flicking its gills. Cheryl, what were you going to say? Sorry.
See the way she's grabbing her snout with her tail, and
Yep.
if you could get a good look at her, the tip of her snout is kind of a whitish color compared to the rest of her.
Yep.
She's obviously miserable,
Right.
and I mean, I really feel sorry for this little seahorse.
Yeah.
That it's one of those things where most not most, many fish stores will sell seahorses as captive bred when they've been wild caught because they're relying on someone else to tell them where they came from. And then that kind of trickles downhill to the buyer or the new keeper. And then they actually manage to get them by a problem that they didn't know that they were going to have. And
Right. And
that's what bothers me about some of this.
Shyla said, my whitey eye was at the LFS in a mixed sump with several different species for 8 months. Thankfully, they survived. I suppose it all comes down to the immunity of each seahorse. Absolutely agree with you, Shyla. We always say that. You know, some people get away with keeping seahorses with clownfish, just usually not long term, but, you know, prove me wrong. I love it. And Ray, this would be a great time for you to kind of go over risk tolerance level because it is up to the person buying the seahorse. And in this case, the girl didn't even know her mom bought the seahorse. So I'm just saying, what's risk tolerance level? What does it mean to you, Ray?
Risk tolerance is different for everybody. For me, I have very low risk tolerance because I don't want to lose the seahorse. If there's any chance at all, I can do something that is going to prevent it. And that means I don't mix species. I don't mix seahorses from different places. Well, in this case, it hasn't been. But like what I was talking about with yours, your risk tolerance is much
higher now because I want babies so
higher
bad.
level than what mine is.
Right.
I would never put
So
all those
Tina
together.
just joined us, it looks like, you guys.
Hey, we're
So we're
showing your
showing
seahorse. I hope that's
your
okay.
your seahorse and discuss it.
We all agree, just to let you know, we all agree that, you know, that, well, I think, I shouldn't say we all. Everyone's made the comment that the seahorse was too small to sell. Your mom didn't know any better. You know, nobody's to blame for this. We just want to try to help you and feel terrible for you and the seahorse because it shouldn't have been sold that little. I mean, this could be a case of you seeing it turn into a male.
But the
So
clowns
little.
have to come out.
What?
The clowns have to come out.
Ray's convinced
Oh.
the clowns are your problem. Go ahead, Holly.
Yeah, and we did, and they're baby clowns. So I mentioned that to her. I guess she says they're not causing problems now, but I told her about the danger of the clownfish, and so she plans on taking them out. I
And
think.
you
Great.
told her the same thing I told her too. The clowns are going to get aggressive and they're going to cause problems down the road.
There's nothing else that indicates the cause of this parasite. So the clowns are causing a stress to that particular seahorse.
So you think it was just gradual, Ray? Because I'm guessing the clowns were there first.
The longer that it's stressed for, the weaker its
Gotcha.
system gets, and the more advanced the parasitic load comes.
Vincent, did you have any thoughts?
Well, no. Well, I'm looking at this seahorse, and I'm thinking about that first picture
Mm-hmm.
where it looked like a fry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's grown quite a bit since he's
Yeah,
gone.
she's done a good job of
Yes.
raising it. Definitely, I think as far as its growth
Yeah.
and fattening it up.
I kind of think it was sold too soon.
Sure.
Yes, that
I
was
do.
my
I think
thought
because
too.
it's starting to grow now. If it was like malnourished or something like that, I don't think it would pick up that much growth in that shorter time if something was wrong.
So you guys, and the main thing she's really curious, which she asked. So how do you say her name, Holly? I'm sorry.
Tana,
Tana. So Tana's first question was, how soon should she see improvement? And the symptom she's wanting to see improvement with is the eating. So what do you guys?
yeah.
Because Robert King asked a question I want to get to in just a second, but let's finish this up. Try to help a little bit more. What could you do to get a seahorse eating? Holly, did you tell him like Dan's thing, like the B12 or
No,
the
not about the garlic. I remember him telling me garlic
okay,
one time, and I'll be honest, I've tried the garlic and the B12, and in my case, it didn't work.
okay,
So
and
I,
it did for me, but you know,
but I mean, this seahorse has just started treatment.
Yeah.
So
right,
it might just take a little time, and that's what she was wondering because she just got the formalin today. So it's only had one formalin treatment. So, and like I said, the only experience I have with formalin is with Fry, where it worked right away for them. But I don't know if it's different for an
well,
adult or
Depends.
if they've had the problem longer.
Yeah, I've used it on adults. That my wild caught pair of hippocampus combs that I got years ago finally started getting some weight on them, started to get them to eat. Then the next thing I know, they're going off their food and they're not acting. And I literally treated them with formalin on more than one occasion, and they lived over 9 years in my house. But I also knew what I was
wow,
going
that's
up
great.
against because uh, our our histopath guy actually got a friend of mine sent him one of her combs that passed on very early, one that she raised, and he found
Hmm.
in the tit on histopath where they do slides and fine slices, he found inclusion bodies consistent with uronema. And
Just can't do that though. So you
yeah,
exactly what you were dealing with, which was amazing and great. In this case, I'm going back. I think, well, first of all, seahorses, in my experience, seahorses or don't eat as well in treatment. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's just what I've experienced as well.
Yeah,
What live
I've had some that
foods are you giving it? What live foods is she
I
giving
don't
it?
know. Fast.
Okay, so I need to know. There's a lot of times seahorses won't eat brine shrimp because they don't recognize it as a food. That's not usual. Usually they'll gulp down brine
I
shrimp,
think
but I've
whatever
just
it was she was eating before, I believe. I think she gave her
okay.
live food occasionally before. So whatever they were. Yeah. Is Tana still
Okay.
here?
I don't know
See if
if you're still here. What live food are you feeding? Are you getting the live food? Because that's another thing. Like when I have fry, I don't because I just don't trust places very much because they could be contaminated. Are you rinsing food? I'm just trying to think of all the questions we could ask. And just back to the basics. Ray, what do you do to get a seahorse eating that stops? You've solved the problem. What do you do to get it eating?
Well, some, if they go too long, in my experience, it's very difficult if it goes more than 4 days without eating to ever get it to eat again. Um, but if you can get it doing something ahead of time, for me, it just means I've always used live foods to try and entice it. I haven't had access to any of the other things, and anytime that a problem comes up like that, if I try to order something, I'm going to be past that point where they're going to eat again anyway, by the time I get it. I can't just go out and buy it in a store around here. So I never depended on that. My principal thing has been with parasites to use the freshwater dip, even if I have to do it a couple days in a row. And that usually will get the parasitic load down enough so that I can entice the seahorse then to get back to eating again.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I agree completely with Ray about if they go more than 4 days, the probability of getting them back onto food is going to be very, very slim. And I've also seen wild caughts. When I'm bringing in something that I know is not going to eat frozen right away, I've got a bucket load of true mysid shrimp and also amphipods that I bring in specifically for that. And I found even with bringing in brand new ones that are captive bred, I always add some new live food to the. I give them about an hour, hour and a half. Add some live food, and they start moving around. And a couple hours later, then I add some frozen to it, and I can usually get them eating within a matter of just a few hours. But the stimulus here is the live food that gets them started.
Well, I was going to say too, I'm curious how you typically feed the seahorses pounds in the tank, because I've had seahorses that would eat better, only gave them one piece at a time through a turkey baster, which is a pain in the butt. Trying to throw out things that you could try, okay?
Yeah.
And
That's because they've got you trained.
I know that, but I'm just saying, if you also say, I hate disagreeing with the pros here, but I personally had two different situations where a seahorse did not eat for more than a week covered. So I'm just throwing that out there. Don't give up. Do you have two? So
I have to. They've gone longer than a week without eating and then picked it up again.
yeah.
I'm wondering though, should she maybe do another freshwater dip? Is that
Not if
not
she's
good
treating with
combined with
formalin.
the formalin
Yeah,
or the
no,
way?
I'd
not
be
if she's
concerned about stressing her.
Risk tolerance again.
Yeah.
No,
In my
Ray,
opinion, it's the
yeah, but
formalin's too slow.
Formalin's too slow.
When it's not eating, the formalin's going to take time, and you don't have that time right now.
So you think
So
a
first
freshwater
thing
dip instead?
is give it another dip and see if that will help. It may not be sufficient, but the thing is, it's the best thing that can be tried at this point. If you wait for the formalin to take effect, it may be too late. It's not impossible, but it may be too late. But as I get back to it, she's got to think about that other seahorse too, and get those clowns out.
Ray's
It
on
may
the
be
clowns.
that the other seahorse may be able to tolerate that kind of movement and everything that the clowns have, but this particular one probably didn't. And that's something you can see throughout the hobby where the majority of times clownfish don't work out, but you see quite a few times where they do work out.
Right.
And it's a case most times of I think, in my mind, it's when it works out, it's because the particular seahorses that are involved and the particular clownfish that are involved, but mainly the seahorses, are able to tolerate that kind of movement and everything produced by those clownfish. But as we know, clownfish or the seahorses are all different. Same with the immunity to the bacteria. Some can fight it off quite easy, and others can't fight it off at all. And
So
I believe it's the same thing with the stressors.
No, I agree with you. And I would say, with Holly, what I'm going to do for my part in this is that Dan swears by B12. I'm going to get with Dan, tell you the wrong dose or any of that. But he uses B12 in the food to entice eating. So let's get that information to you by next week. I'll probably call Dan right afterward. And all this will eventually be up on the website, so I don't have to keep trying to remember it. But now I would say, don't give up. Continue the formalin. I just
How
wouldn't switch
long
back and
can
forth.
you use formalin? Like if you've done the 3-day treatment,
Well, think about
can
your
you
fry,
repeat
Holly.
it
How many
or is
times do you
it,
In this
use
situation,
formalin?
I would start
well,
with a bath rather than I'd start with a dip, formalin dip, rather than a bath. I'd start off with that because it's going to be the most effective. Then give the seahorse a chance to settle back into the tank. Watch it. If it's starting to eat, add some more formalin to the tank to help finish clearing them up. If it's not eating, I would go ahead and go with another dip.
We passed that because she's got him in a
and see,
hospital.
she said you got to remember she is in a hospital tank with formalin. So she can't
Right.
stop the formalin right now. She needs to do the 10 days I
It's
told her at
probably
least.
Still do a
as
Agreed.
little as that
freshwater.
seahorse, yeah, as little as that seahorse is, it's probably the best thing for it right now.
And Ray,
So
I
if
don't
she does
know about
the,
that. I don't wait. Hang on. I know you keep saying pull her out and do a freshwater dip, but I just don't think. I think that's too stressful. She's already in formalin. Pulling her out to do a fresh seems like it'd be too much. In my opinion.
I've never
I'm
seen
personally
seahorses
just looking at
stressed.
what the better odds are going to be.
I guess
Well,
that's a
okay,
personal decision.
exactly.
But
It's
I
been
have
too
a
long
question
already
on the
before
formalin, though.
Guys, we keep talking
See,
over
when
each
I
other.
use it,
Everybody, we talk over each other. Holly, you were talking.
That's
Go.
why I'm being quiet.
Vincent's like, say something. Dang it, we're all passionate
yeah,
about seahorses, you guys. That's what it is.
yeah.
Holly, go ahead, and then Ray.
I gotta go feed mine so
Okay.
you can talk without me.
So
Okay,
back when
okay.
I used formalin for my fry, I would do the initial 3-day, every other day for 3 treatments. Now, what Dan told me was that I could also use it intermittently. You could repeat it. Like if you see them scratching again,
Use it.
use formalin on that day. So I'm wondering, in this situation, can she repeat that formalin treatment after she's done her initial 3 times? If she's still not seeing results, can or should she do it again?
If she's not seeing results after 3 treatments every other day, if she's not, I'm not necessarily saying the seahorse is going to eat like a pig, but she should see a lot more
At least
activity and much higher interest in food. Maybe snicking some. If she may snick some and spit it back out if she's got a lot of inflammation. But the thing is, I'll be honest with you. When I've got fry, I don't treat them anymore with formalin unless I see them scratching, which is very rare anymore. But it's one of those things where I've used formalin so many times over so many years and had it be effective. I definitely do use it both as a bath and as a dip. And it just depends on the
Sure,
seahorse.
and unfortunately, when you get a group of people, this is kind of what always happens: is piece differently and have different opinions. You just gotta kind of take it and
Well,
make your own choice.
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's one of those things. I can tell you, 3 of us could get together and tell the same person 3 different things about treating a seahorse. And the reason is because without the lab cultures and the cultures and sensitivities, we really are still shooting very much in the dark in many respects because we don't know exactly what organism we're going against. And therefore, we don't know what would be the most effective antibiotic or treatment for the seahorse. So we have to look at what the seahorse is doing. Does it have discoloration like Vibrio or the oblong white spots, that kind of stuff? Is it trying to breathe and extending its trigger with every breath and its snout is hanging open? I mean, these are all things that I look for, and we all do. But when we had the human histopathologist that actually did some of the cultures and sensitivities for us, we were like, woohoo!
Right,
Because we actually
yeah, and most people can't do that. Like I couldn't even vet, let alone get a history so when I lost horse, that's
Yeah.
just
I
beyond
have
my
no way.
reach.
Yeah.
So I would just say, okay, so we're gonna close this part just for today. We're not gonna forget about it. I'm gonna call Dan after this. The one voice that I always listen to above everyone else, it's Dan, because he
Yep.
just knows
Yeah.
everything seahorses and has studied. Cheryl does too.
Yeah.
Everybody does, but he just has the marking on it, right?
You get
So,
different.
and he's the one that
get
taught
different-
all of us.
You can get
I'll
different
send you some
responses.
more videos to look at too.
Yeah, and some more
And the
videos.
thing is, I don't think at this point, I think she became more active, and it's like she's looking at the food and acting like she's stalking it, but just not going for it.
That's a
She's on the
that's
right
a
path.
big improvement.
Yes, I think she's on the right path. Continue what you're doing. Don't think at this point. And then next week, I'm going to come with some more information for you. Vincent, did you have anything else to say about this before I move on to Robert's question?
No, I wasn't going to say anything about it.
Okay,
I do agree
all right.
with clownfish. It should probably be pulled out, at least for now. And I'm like Ray. I don't do fish with seahorses, but that's just me.
Yep, I got you. And okay, Robert King, and I'm not like closing down the topic for good. Remember, we're coming back to it next week. Just give me time to get a little bit more information. But I think you are seeing improvement because that tiny seahorse has gotten so much bigger under your care. So you're doing something right. And Robert King wanted to know: has anyone noticed an increased appetite when using her?
I can't
Look.
say that.
They always want to eat.
Yeah,
I
listen,
can't
they're
say
always
that.
starving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always hungry.
Guys, Vince spoke. Let's let him speak. Go ahead, Vincent.
The more they see me, the more they want to eat.
Hang on, Vincent.
But
Go.
the char chamber, to me, especially with fry, and I imagine with the adults too, it takes where you can feed them a little bit more because the char chamber is going to handle if you overfeed. Because when I feed I feed a lot to my seahorses, and I don't go back in and siphon it out or anything like that. And
Really? Oh,
yeah, now they eat it all, everything. You know, I mean, I don't usually see stuff on the bottom, but if there's a little in there, I haven't taken it out. I siphon every morning their waste, but that's it.
Yep. Well, and you use Vincent
What?
of mysis. Of my.
Oh man, I can't remember. I get flat packs.
Hikari.
Okay.
Hikari.
Hikari, but also the Piscean, I think, comes
Yeah,
in.
the
PE.
PE, Piscean
The
energetic.
The only reason I was
Yeah.
asking is because the reason I have to siphon is that the pieces in my flat pack, and it could be just this time of year we've discussed, but I get a lot of little pieces that the seahorses won't eat, but just gobble down everything.
Well, they eat.
just
Yeah, they eat the small piece. They eat it all.
Mm.
They eat
Yeah,
it.
mine
Wonderful.
I mean,
do
they
too.
pretty
It
much.
took them a while to
Wonderful.
get used to it.
And I say it is hard to if there's increased feeding, Robert. If not, I'll ask you when you come whatever week. But I'm curious, did that to you? Because again, you know, my seahorses eat like champs, of course, and they love the chamber. You probably didn't come last week, but I was showing pictures. They sleep hitched to the airline so that the bubbles hit them as they sleep. They fight over the spot on King Chamber so that they can be in the shower of bubbles coming up and probably the clean water, you know? So they love it, but I don't know about increase. Try to pay more attention so I can report back on that. But, and guys, if you don't know what a char chamber is, we are going to have Robert King back on, but I'll let you know for sure in a post. Might be the week after, but we'll have a little bit more about that and all of the other stuff he's doing. So anything else about that, guys? No? Okay. Alicia said, my male seahorse changes color next to the other male, and the other male runs every time. Is he scared of him? He never changes with the girls, and they never run from him. So who wants to go first? Holly, go ahead. You're
He's
dying.
just being a dominant male. And yeah, they do change color for other males. I see mine actually do that with females too, that they're not really interested in at that time, but they want to get them to move out of the way, or it's kind of like a bully maneuver,
I'm
I
trying to
think.
find something to show you guys real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to find it quick enough. Anybody else got a thought on this?
And yeah, the one that gives in, yeah, is going to swim away.
Hey, my favorite was a pair I raised, and they were dancing and courting all day, every day for almost 2 months. Got up one morning, they were at opposite ends of the tank. The little female had developed a pouch.
Oh gosh.
And the
I feel
question
so
about being scared, there it's not necessarily scared. Like they usually do fine, okay. He's just being dominant, and once they work out, who's the dominant one, they end up usually, unless unless they're like Kelly's bachelor tank males, they
well, I
usually
had a
end up
Right?
female.
getting along. They just establish boundaries with each other is all it is.
I had a
Yeah.
female Combs that was dancing with a male, and another male tried to get in between her and the male she was dancing with. She grabbed him and pinned him to the substrate in a matter of seconds, and he never bothered them again.
This was not the video that I was looking for. I'll try to find it by next week, but I'll go ahead and share this one anyways, just for fun here. Let's see. Skip the ad. All right. So
Aw.
this is some of seahorses that I raised, but you notice the one on the very left, his face turning dark. He's
Yes,
darkening. He's
he's
darkening.
looking at the others. Yeah.
And these are all males. I think at least the two in the front are. And then they're gonna start saying, "I'm the
Yeah.
boss." No, I'm the
Yeah.
boss. Look at my pouch. Look at my pouch. I'm bigger.
Yeah.
And they bang each other, and they're fighting
Yeah.
for dominance, just like what they were just saying. Oh, apparently I talked in this video. Let me shut me up here. But they definitely, and now he's pushing him to the side, making him kind of not run, but you go over there. This is my spot. They're very much
Yeah.
like that. And like Holly said, though, did I stop sharing? Yeah. Like Holly said, though, once one becomes the dominant male of the tank, it just is. You know what I mean?
Then they
They
just
won't
get
run from
along
each other
and yeah.
usually. Yeah, they
Yeah.
know. Had a case where in my when I had the big purple male and the big white female that gave me all the best fry, and they were in a tank with some of the seahorses that I brought up, a new seahorse, whatever. And this one male decided one day he was gonna. This is the video I was looking for. I couldn't find. He decided he was going to challenge the big male, and he wins. And the big male submits, and I'm like, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm still gonna try to find it. Anybody else got a story while I look for this?
Well,
No.
when I was working with the
You can show my
engines,
tank if you want while we're talking. I sent you the video along with Tina's, so maybe you can just show that while we're talking.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, real quick. Well, I can't look and talk and do this, but I will show your tank in just a second, Holly. Cheryl, tell your story.
I was just going to say, I made the mistake of putting two males in a very large tank with two females. And if you ever look at engines, male engines below the cornet, they have a big bony plate that's above their eyes but below their cornet, and they literally use that like a battering ram, and just start. They'll hit each other in the head. They'll hit each other anywhere on the body. I mean, they are brutal when they're getting ready to court. I mean, I've never seen so much aggression out of seahorses.
Wow. Dang it.
And
I really
when they
wanna
get to be
find
over
it.
12 inches, they are something to behold when they're pulling that stuff.
Can't imagine. Can't imagine. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking, searching. I really wanted to show this, but doesn't look like I'm going to find it in
Oh, when I
time.
see Tina says thank you, the fish are gone.
Ah, good job, Dana. All right, let me go ahead and show yours, Holly, real quick while I'm still looking, and then we can discuss whatever. But your tank is where? Is it before the ones
It's above. Yeah, I sent it before the videos of Tina's.
It's the real pretty one.
Wait, is it? No, that's got to be Dana's. Okay.
It's above. Like if you scroll, it's going to be above the videos I sent from
All right.
Tana.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This one?
Yeah.
Full,
So
beautiful. Go ahead, Holly.
so I figured they're all grown up now. I used to call this the grow out tank, but nobody's having kids. So I just got it all decorated up for them, and now it's the tiki tank or the tiki lounge tank because it's in my tiki lounge.
Didn't Ray say the grown-up tank or something?
Yes, I liked that. The grown up tank. Yeah, it could be.
Oh man, I'm not gonna find this. Oh, I'm so mad. Well, I'll find it and post it next week. I might as
And
well
there's 2 char
try
chambers.
and-
Yeah, you can see the char chambers. I have one in each corner. I
Yep.
have the internal filter in there. So yeah, there's equipment in there too, but and their favorite stuff, I mean the reef thing is new to them, and what they're liking about it so far is
He fell.
chasing food under it. They like going under it and looking in there. They like ambushing their prey from inside of it. But they're not that really interested in it. It's more for me. Their favorite thing is actually that little saloon. They love this.
Oh yeah.
Every morning they're hanging out with that little saloon. And what I found with their stuff I give them is the seahorses really tend to like just the little things to hang on, the little
Yeah.
weird things like that Atlantis sign. They like that. They like the saloon doors. They've got a couple big fake corals you can see in there that they like to hang on to. But
Is the thing in the back the coral that bubbles? Is that what you were talking about?
yeah, see the bubbles coming out of it? Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
It's pretty cool. It's big. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun to take out and clean, but
Right.
but it seems to be okay. I was worried about stuff getting trapped around it, food and stuff, but I have that internal filter
Yep.
seems to suck stuff to it pretty well,
On the
along
char
with the char
chambers.
chambers.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, and then I just use I mean, when I cleaned the tank, because today was the first day I cleaned since I put that in, and my big siphon hose fits right under it and just vacuums,
Oh,
everything
perfect.
out.
Perfect.
So
Vincent,
it'll be all right.
Yeah,
What?
Vincent, I'm curious. Do your seahorses hang out on the char chamber like mine do?
Yeah. Well, they hang out on the wire ties, on the
Uh,
char chamber. I mean, they hang out, but they like I have one where there's at least 20 or 30, well, 20 of them that
yep.
hang
Yeah,
out.
you can see in the upper left corner, mine are on the return nozzles. They like that. These ones, they haven't discovered the char chambers yet. They'll sit next to it, but nobody's got on top of it yet.
Is this the tank where your seahorses stay low most of the time, though?
It is. It
Okay.
is. But
Okay.
they'll swim up. I had one video the other day. One of my females was on top of that reef, and she got up there, but she got up there and then she didn't know what to do with herself. She was like writhing around, like, okay, I'm here. Where do I go now?
Right.
Kelly,
Yeah.
you know why they hang out on the bottom?
What?
Spend too much time at the saloon.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Holly seahorses.
I
like
will
the
say
saloon.
something interesting too. That's so funny, Vince. I have to say something I noticed though about this tank, because when I put the seahorses in from my display tank briefly, they were doing the same thing in this tank. And I'm beginning to think it has to do with the fact that underneath, see, this is all bare bottom, and
Right.
underneath it is a black desk painted, and it's pretty reflective
Ah.
actually. So, and they tend to look that like they're looking down there a lot, like they're trying to see see stuff, and
Yeah,
my
look at
my
that
big
one. That one is looking directly
my
at the bottom.
my display tank ones did that when they were in here. So I'm like, I wonder if they're seeing stuff or they think they see stuff down
Yeah, I
there. I
bet you're
don't I
probably
I
right, but
don't know.
I would say too that though, like Aphrodite in my tank, she's always at the bottom, always in rocks. You know,
Mhm.
she doesn't
But
swim
see,
around. The rest of them do.
they swim when they want to. Like if they want
Yeah.
to go across the tank, they'll swim. They have no
Yep.
problem swimming. They just choose not to.
Yep. Yeah,
I
well, I
don't
bet you're
know.
right. I
I
bet you're
can't
right.
explain it.
I bet it's the reflection. I wanted to show. I'm going through my videos. So this was my favorite, or not my favorite. This was I finally got it captured a seahorse giving birth. So I just thought I'd show it real quick.
Aw.
But and Vince,
Yeah.
while we're watching this, I was gonna say hang out at the top of the char chamber.
Yeah.
They look at that little dude. Oh, I want that
There goes
so
one.
bad. And this was a little guy who didn't give me very many.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not very big. His pouch
Nope.
looks like
He's
Scrappy Doo's
young.
pouch normally.
Yeah, I think it was his first birth. Look at those
Sandy
little
never looked
fries.
pregnant to me. Every time was a surprise because he never really looked pregnant.
Look at those little babies. I
Aw.
want babies again so much. All right, I'm done. But yeah, I tried so hard to get a birth on video, and I finally did. Oh, I sat there taping it instead of collecting the fry. I mean, I
Aw,
did
so
eventually, but
cute. That's
anyways, yeah,
darling.
my seahorses. I'll take a video for next week, but they literally just. I mean, they're all the time fighting for the airline on the char chamber. They fight for it seriously. But anyways, next week, guys. Wait. My pair used to dwell on the bottom. Oh, Shyla said her pair used to dwell on the bottom when I had sand and macroalgae. You know, when you said that, actually, in my first tank that was full of macroalgae, the seahorses only, my male, I built him a cave within the macro. Like I had a cave and I covered it with macros, so like it just looked like a cave opening. He was the dominant male, and he went
Yeah.
in there every time he was pregnant, and he wouldn't come out except for food. And they stayed more in the macro too. Now that I think about it, but I would put macro at the top too. Like I had the floating rows, and I had like red stuff that went up the back and all that stuff. So they were kind of all over, but they did stay. I think, especially Holly in your tank too. There's more entertainment at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of just swimming around, there's stuff to
Yeah.
do, hang on, and
Yeah.
play with or whatever.
I've
But
actually watched 2-inch fry that I've raised, Combs fry, literally tapping on the bottom of the tank and swimming around and doing all kinds of contortions. And it was like they're tapping on it, trying to get the other seahorse that they're seeing to jump into the game with them. And it's hysterical to watch because
That
you're
is
like,
funny.
it's not going to work, guy. There's nobody on the other right side of that.
Yeah,
They do not, they don't figure that out.
right.
No.
Zen Ginger asked, does the size of the tank and territorial area have anything to do with the amount of stress they feel from additional fish like clowns? Yes, absolutely. I absolutely think that that's true. And Dan has said, I see you raising your finger. Let me answer, and then it's Ray's turn. Dan has said too that he's had people keep tanks with fish and seahorses, but it was 300-gallon tanks with 300-gallon sumps, right? So there was room. We had a guest on one week. I don't think he had other fish, but he had a lot of coral and stuff. And it was because it was a 300-gallon tank, right?
Yeah.
So if the
There's
seahorses can,
places to go.
if the seahorses can have their little territory, they do have territories too. And if they have their little territory and the fish kind of stay out of it, I think that that's a different situation. Ray, you had your finger raised. You go.
Yeah, I just want to say something so that Tana doesn't think that we're really down on her or anything. The size of the seahorses that she got were so far below the point where they should have been sold in the first place that anybody that is not very experienced in keeping seahorses is at
Disadvantage.
yeah, they're really disadvantaged in being able to succeed with something that size. When they're that small, they don't have a good immune system, and it's not going to take much of any little error at all to lose them because of that. Um, like there's just no body mass, there's no nothing there. So anything at all happens, bingo, they can be gone in no time at all. So it's if she loses any, it's not just because of something that she's done.
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
because somebody sold those seahorses when they shouldn't have.
Absolutely agree. And I mean, we really appreciate when people are willing to share. Like I share my mistakes all the time. I tell you about my cloudy tank, show a picture. But I mean, it helps when someone comes because someone else is going to watch this and they're going to be experiencing something similar and they're going to learn from it or maybe avoid this mistake or whatever. So, and I do. So, wait, I'm rambling. First of all, I want to say definitely we are not downing anybody. We appreciate when people come. We've all made mistakes. We've all had to deal with these issues, and that's why we do this. So thank you. We're not down on you. And bravo for a number of body mass on that seahorse. What you were doing was
Mhm.
working because it was growing. And whatever's
Mhm.
going on right now, bravo that you're trying to fix it. I mean, you're doing everything right, in my opinion. So definitely
Mhm.
not down on
Absolutely.
you. Vincent said that earlier too. You can tell the growth
Mhm.
and that it's filling out and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely.
So,
I
but
don't
did you
even
guys go ahead?
I don't even move my fry out of the nursery tubs until they're close to 3 inches long at least.
Yeah.
And that's when they
And
finally go into the grow out tank. And it's
that's
just
what I was
it's
explaining to her too. I said at that size, I was feeding them every 2 or 3 hours.
oh
Right.
yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
know, you can't expect a new hobbyist owner to do that kind of schedule,
Right.
like that. So I said, that seahorse was really too small
Well, and the
to
shape,
to
like
be
you
ready.
said, Holly, I've had
Was
fry
not
that
right.
when they were growing, the breast would be bulky and they would be really twig thin and they just weren't thriving. It wasn't, I don't, maybe it was
Yeah.
something I was doing, but they were all treated the same. So I think
Yeah,
it
I
was just
had a
that
few.
individual
Yeah, and
seahorse.
like we talked about before, like if I was a professional breeder, I probably would have culled those ones
Yep.
out. Like
Yep.
I explained it to her like the runt of the litter type
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
situation, but I did have a few that didn't grow like the other ones did. That kind of
Hmm.
had that look with the tiny body and the big head,
Yep.
and they just didn't thrive. They some of them lived, 4 months, but still didn't make it because they never really took off and grew. They never,
Yep. Well,
developed
we're
what
still
they
we're
needed
still
to do.
hoping that you're going to be able to save this seahorse. So don't give up, but
Mhm.
definitely don't blame yourself.
Well,
Is I think what we're all getting at.
And
I
don't
Yeah.
buy
did
any
want to,
from there again.
huh?
raising seahorses is a labor of love. I mean, unless you're doing it full time and have a full crew and, everything. And I mean, it's a labor of love. And that's the bottom line here. For those of
Yep.
us that raise them, I mean, yeah, I love it. I thoroughly enjoy watching them grow and everything else. But I also know that I am going to lose some along the way.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I don't beat myself up anymore like I used to.
Yeah, but it's a
Mhm.
lot harder to lose some when you only have a few. It's a
Yeah,
Yeah.
lot
when
harder.
especially they're your first ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
I
say
actually,
too, if this does not turn out the way we hope that it does with you saving the seahorses and everything
Mhm.
going
and
well, don't give horses. Really, truly,
yeah,
you
Mhm.
just got a
Let's
shot
give
deal
up
this
on that
time.
store.
Yeah,
Mhm.
don't go to the
Mhm.
store. Right. I
in
agree.
2005, I started getting Seahorse fry. I think that sounds about right. And I reached the point that I decided I was either going to get completely out of seahorses and get rid of them, or I was going to find a way to make it work.
Hmm.
My first real success, and I mean real success, came in 2007. It took
Yeah,
me 2 years.
to get it right. But I mean, and That's impressive, and I get your point. But like for people just wanting to keep a pair of seahorses that don't even want to breed, it's
What
really
about
hard.
girls are all boys?
Well, I like watching them interact, though. I like watching them interact. I don't know. But you know, I'm willing to have fry too. So whatever. I don't know. But hey, guys, I feel like we skipped over Zen Ginger's question. I answered, but nobody else did. Do you guys think the size of the tank and territorial area matters with having additional fish and stuff like that, and the stressors?
Yeah.
I think a larger tank helps, but it also is going to depend on the personality of the individual fish that are put in the
Yeah.
tank with the seahorses.
Vincent, what were you going to say?
No, yeah, I could see that. I mean,
Yeah.
a bigger tank, but because I've had them in a reef tank before, and they did okay. And but the tank you were talking about, the guy that had 300,
Yeah.
Daniel Nadell or something like that.
You're so
Beautiful.
good at remembering names. I'm terrible. Go
Yeah.
ahead. But it was beautiful. You guys
Yeah.
go watch that Wine Wednesday. He showed off his Seahorse tank and it was gorgeous.
Well,
Hey, Gina's Reef. Hey, I wanted to say real quick, don't forget, you guys, memberships, scan the QR code, or I'll put a link in the description. And Zen Ginger, I know you're gonna help me play with it, but I want to see these. We got to test next week if the emojis work, or if, like you said, they're too small, and then I need help making better ones that don't have the words that are too small. So please help me, guys. Even the lowest level, that's like $3 a month. Just help me so we can play with it.
Where is it at?
Well, you won't be able to see it because you're in Restream and not YouTube.
Oh,
But
okay.
on actually, really quick, I know I just jumped into another topic yet again, but okay, wait. Before I start rambling and before I get enticed by Ray's cute little pup there, the two things I want to say is, first of all, Gina, I know we've been talking about trying to get you into a Wine Wednesday and your work schedule. I know, but we're gonna have Robert King come back either next week or the week after, and he's going to talk char chambers and probably some clownfish stuff. So that week would be a great week for you to jump in too and just have a big conversation about anything and everything. But also, I wanted to show you guys really
No.
quickly. Give me one sec. Here we go. So if you don't like the QR code, like whatever, you go to my channel, or to our channel, I should say. Yours Whisper, you go to community, and it's going to show my end. You're not going to see this. You guys go to community. I'm sorry, member, and then this is showing me what I offer, but it'll show the chance to join. Right. So membership is where you want to go on the channel. If you don't see a membership, go to community and then membership. So I just wanted to show that, but I will put a link up. And like I said, even if you just we talked earlier, the top rung gets a free shirt, and we're talking about how we're going to do the shirts, and I'll let everybody help me decide. But even the bottom rung, you get to use the emojis and stuff, and it just helps support the channel. All right. So now I've gotten all my rambling out. Who was talking that I interrupted? Or are we going to just look at?
I just sent you a picture I want you to check out of Scrappy Doo. I've been working on some photography stuff with the seahorses.
Okay.
So I wanted to see if this type of thing was something you could use.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And you
Got
guys,
that?
if you want your seahorses featured on the site or used in any of the stuff like for emojis and stuff, oh my gosh, I will credit you, and we love it. Look at this picture. Holly, that is fantastic.
I like that one.
That is really good.
That's one of my favorites.
You get a nice tail.
That's
How'd you
Scrappy
do it?
Doo. My iPhone.
Really?
Actually, it happened. My iPhone upgraded itself, and it started
Okay.
doing this thing. I like touched a picture.
You go lay down now. You be a good doggy.
It
Oh,
made a outline of the seahorse all by itself. I just sent you another one, so it'll do it in white, and
gotcha.
I'm still figuring it out. Like to make it the black background, I share it to my story and screenshot it from there.
Yeah.
Because I
Okay.
haven't figured out how to do the black background on its own. But the ideas, and I think you have to have like an Apple app on your phone where you can actually superimpose it on a picture, I think is the idea.
Uh-huh.
My husband can't stand the idea. He says, "You know what they're doing, right? They're going to use that technology to put pictures of you in other places." And
Oh, God. Sounds like Sean.
So
Hey,
my
hey.
Is this the one that I saw with you in the
Here.
bathing suit down at the lake?
No. But no, I actually
Yeah.
use I use Photoshop and I use Canva, and I've got equipment that can remove backgrounds. So yeah, if you guys and I just Zen Ginger, I just saw that. I can't see it while I'm live because I'm on Restream, but look, you guys, this is what we're doing right now. This is Wine Wednesday, right? I'm gonna pause us, but look at the chat. Look at that. It is too small. You can't read it, but that's so. Look
See,
at
I
those
want to do that
emojis,
too. I
and
can't
look
do
at
it
Zen
because I'm in the
Ginger.
live.
Zen Ginger has a little badge on her name, so you guys are special. See, Shyla's got a badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
love
would too
that.
if I could get. So I have to go to YouTube on another tab to do it.
Well, and Holly, for your case, just to let you know, you can do it on videos too. Not that you would go back and watch videos that you probably already helped with, but you get my point. You can use
Well, I
the
don't know
emojis
how to
on
do it.
videos.
You'll have to teach me how I can use them.
I will. And just to let you guys know, apparently, once we make some emojis that you can actually read and that are cool, help me guys, but you can use them on other channels. And that could, so like you go to, well, Robert King does Facebook, but anybody that you watch on YouTube, you go to their channel, you use your seahorse emojis, and then they'll be like, "Where'd you get that?" Like, "Oh, you got to be a seahorse whisperer." Right? Yay! Thank you guys. That's so cool. But we'll play with it more. I'm new to this too, so we'll figure it out. But and I love you guys. Thank you so much. All right, what else? I
And
know I kind of jumped around. Cheryl, did you want to say something about tank size territory and
I
other
just wanted
fish?
to say,
Oh,
who was it that said that they're already members and can did they get access to the T-shirt contest too?
well, no, it's not a t-shirt contest. So I didn't tell really you guys a lot about it because you're already in it. You're the Ray, I know, and it's all over Ray's head. But
Well,
and
I was
it's
just curious because it was somebody else that I think it was the Zen Ginger.
yeah, and you
China and I
guys,
are already members. Okay, I just wanted to verify that
yeah,
they're in on the whole thing.
yeah, and you guys will already get shirts and anything and everything I have because you're my co-host. But for the people in the comments, they can become members of the channel, and it's a tiny fee that helps the channel. And you guys and I can discuss how that would be used anything, but basically they get perks. They get emojis. If they go to
Yeah.
expert level, they'll get a free shirt. And it's not a t-shirt contest. I was just saying, you guys, what do you want? You're going to get a free shirt. So would you rather have a pick from the designs you already have, or should we design a new one for members? I think I'm liking the member idea, but I'm lining it and ideas. Okay. And now Holly sent me a cool picture. But enough about that. Did anybody else want to say anything about the size of the tank? I've said it 50 times, I know, but I feel like I'm cutting everybody off. Or are we good? I think we pretty much answered it. Is there anything else? Yeah, anything else we need to discuss? Miss Holly, did I miss anything, or we're approaching the 10 o'clock time? I've resigned myself to these being 2 hours long. I say I'm going to make it an hour every week, and it's 2 hours. So I resigned myself. But anything else we need to chit chat about?
Yeah, you name your seahorses yet?
No, nobody's giving me any ideas. You know why? Because I've been such a bad social media person and I haven't been posting. I need to post pictures on the page and ask for names. I will this week. That's what I'm going to do. Because I got to come up with name two in the tank.
Or you gotta wait and watch them, and then you'll think of a name just by watching them. Sometimes that's how I name mine. Some
And
of them
I was looking for a pouch
in.
cover to reduce fry.
pouch covered of reduced fry. And here I am begging for fry. I bet you I have some within a month,
You
a
know,
few months. So.
I need a little apron type pad thing that covers the opening to the pouch.
Chastity belt. No,
Yeah,
but
that's what I need.
But I was gonna say, at Shiloh, we love the 2-hour streams. Right.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, no, with the mail from Vincent, I love. Now I'm confusing the two. One of them has the whiskers that I love, the Siri underneath the chin, and the female has Siri like kind of around her crown. I'll show you a picture. I'll post it on Facebook and in YouTube. You can also see the posts in the community tab on YouTube. And there will be a membership section where you'll be able to talk to me and us, and only you can see it and nobody else can see it. But we'll get into all that later. But the girl has, I believe, the chin hairs and the beautiful Siri around her crown. And then the male, and she has these saddle markings that are just gorgeous. And if you don't know what saddle, they're like the patch that's white on a
I
different
just
color
sent you a
seahorse.
good picture of that because I sent you a
Okay.
picture of Candy, kind of like the one. It's the very last picture I
yeah.
just sent you.
Okay, let me share it real quick
So
because
you can
and
see
I
that on here.
and then I'll see if I can find my pictures from last week because Ray just asked what anime characters are. Hang on, let me do this first, Ray, because I'm not sure. But see the white that comes around, and it looks like it's almost above this. It's like a extra layer, and it's beautiful and it's sparkly. And did you know that they're even on both sides? I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
I will have to look now and notice.
Yeah, let me know if that's disproven. I'm pretty sure Dan told me that.
I want to say I haven't noticed.
Well, now we got to
I'll
go
have to
check.
really look.
Everybody go check this and see if they all have saddling in the same amounts on the different sides. Because
And
someone
it's
told me
funny
that.
because if you look, like if you look at the other pictures, like I sent Scrappy Doo and Dandy, my two males,
Huh?
they have no saddling really. It looks like Scrappy Doo maybe he has a little bit. You can see it kind of faint, but I notice it more on females in my tanks.
Huh. No, that's interesting. My females usually don't have as many markings and colors and spots and stuff. But there's
The
my
males are more stripy.
well, here's my mail from Vincent, and this was the very first day. That's why he looks a little emaciated. He's not. He just wasn't fed before he was shipped. But look at that layering on his head. He looks like he's wearing a
Yeah,
silver
pretty.
mask. He's so
Yeah.
pretty. And these pictures suck, like I told you guys. But yeah, they were getting to know each other. And there's my female with the whiskers and the beautiful
Yeah, pretty.
saddling. Oh, Vincent, have you noticed that the saddling can be different on sides,
You
or is
know,
it even on both sides?
I never paid attention, just for the fact that I only see one side at a time, and I'm losing.
Yeah, that's how I am, I think.
Well, now we got to all check. All
Have to
Seahorse
notice.
keepers, go check. And this picture was showing. Look at how the Ocean Rider male yellowed up when the other Seahorse. He wanted. He was like, "Wait a minute, I got to look pretty again." I mean, he got yellow again. And, oh, she is just so gorgeous. I swear. Ah. And you can see the cloud. Look, I'm sitting here admiring my own seahorses. That was in the
Yeah.
bag.
Aww.
Look how active they were.
Look
Okay,
at
I'm done.
their holy tails.
Yep. Sean, they want out, Kelly. They want out. And I was like, I got to temp acclimate. And she was like, they're trying to break through the bag. Anyways,
Let us out of here. Yeah.
eventually I'll get back to making videos and, unboxing videos and stuff. I've been slacking lately, but yeah, I always say it wrong. Is it Tana? Tana. Okay. Sorry, Tanya. Sorry, I'm so bad with names. Don't take offense. But yeah, your seahorse will be beautiful too. It just has to grow up, and if not, we'll get you to a breeder like Vincent, right? And then you can get some beauties. But all seahorses are beautiful. None of that matters. I'm just bragging on my own, And Oh, Shyla said her seahorses were named by favorite cartoon anime characters. And Ray wants to know what anime characters are. Who wants to answer?
It's like cartoons. Usually it's a Japanese style of animation.
I typed that in. Yeah,
They
cartoons.
they're not cartoons, so they're adult cartoons. They're
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
like comics and
Yeah.
stuff. Like my daughter
Think
tried
of
one where
Speed
there were
Racer,
giants.
Ray. Do you remember Speed Racer way back? That was an early one, but
Wha-
similar to that style.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Go Speed Racer, go. That one was an old Japanese cartoon from, I want to say it probably started in the 1960s. So I was thinking you might remember that one, where it was the guy that drove race cars.
Here you
No.
go. Here you go,
The only
Ray.
one I
Kids
remember,
might know. There
They're
we go.
like
Here's
this.
the anime.
They're like this. They're like Puss in Boots for adults. So it's like
Oh,
they're if it's a movie, they'll have adult humor, but it's a cartoon. If it's a most anime is like I think this is one of the ones my daughter watches. It is. I can't pronounce the name, but
I guess it didn't exist
They're
when my
usually
kids were small.
Japanese.
yep.
It's a Japanese
What?
style of animation.
Okay, Shyla will
Is where it
probably
started.
know. What's the name of the anime? I know we're way off topic here, guys, but that's okay. We're friends. What's the anime where the giants eating people? Because my daughter made me watch it, and I actually got into it, embarrassingly enough. But yeah, I
Scott
shouldn't
might
call
know.
them.
He watches that stuff.
And,
I don't know. I
and
get
Zen
stuck
Ginger,
watching hockey
wait,
games.
Zen Ginger corrected me. They are not comics; they are graphic novels.
Yeah.
Agreed. But what's the one where the giant monsters are eating people, and the character, the guy, is like eventually going to save the world, and he becomes the master? Oh my gosh! I
Why
like
would you
literally
want to
watched
watch
it.
something like that?
What was it?
Why would you
Godzilla.
want to? Why would you want to watch something like that?
I didn't. My daughter made me, but then I got into it. I actually
Why
wanted
would
to
your
watch
daughter
it.
want?
Well, that's another
I'd never
question.
let my kids watch crap like that.
There it is. I just found it. I know, Ray. Don't judge me. But this one is the one that I watched. What's the name of it? Attack on Titan. That was it. And it was freaking terrible. But and then I grounded my daughter for a year. All right. Anyways, sorry, we're way off. But yeah. Attack on Titan, Gina had it. Absolutely. I watched, I mean, actually, it's still going, isn't it? I think it's, I know I didn't see the actual end because, anyways.
Yeah,
We
Scott
moved on.
watches stuff like that, and his video games are like that. They're like a story.
Well,
Yeah.
that's, and my son, I say my son, he's 27, he's an adult son, but I'm showing my age. Stop it, Kelly. I was very, very young when I had him, but he loves the movies that are made from games, right? Like, of course, we watched
Yeah.
and he comes to our house, and me and him and the girls
Uh-huh.
watch these shows
Yeah.
one at a time. We watched House of Dragons is what we're watching now. We watched oh my God, what's Jon Snow? I'm totally not remembering. Game of Thrones.
I love
Uh-oh,
Silent
Cheryl's
Hill. I remember because my husband used to play the video game Silent Hill, and then they made it into a movie, and that was really creepy. That
the
was a
latest.
creepy video game.
That's the latest watching, and tell me if you guys are watching this. It's Wine Wednesday. We can chat about anything. We're watching. Now I'm not going to think of the name. Oh my God, The Last of Us. Anybody heard of The Last of Us? Raise your hands. Give me an emoji. But we're watching The Last of Us, and I would say I didn't play the game, but Tyler says it's like right on. Like he gets really mad. My son gets seriously, ridiculously mad when someone tries to take a game and make a movie of it or make a series of it, and they
And they
veer
screw
off.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they make it political, or they make it, PC or whatever. He's like, this game was killing people and, blah, blah, blah. And they turned it into whatever.
Yeah.
In The Last of Us, though, the second episode, it was about these two gay men and, their life during this crisis. And he was like, it's spot on with the game. He loved it. And so it's apparently they're
Cool.
doing a good job. If you haven't watched it, watch. Rambling about nonsense that nobody cares
About anime.
I want to hear about
We
Seahorse.
lost Ray.
Anime.
We lost Ray. If he never even saw Speed Racer, that's like the oldest, closest thing I could think of that.
I can
Well-
remember Donald Duck and
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with it.
and stuff like that. And what's that one? A coyote chasing some
Oh,
road
yeah.
Wile E. Coyote
The
and the
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner, yeah.
See, I know all of
Remember-
those too.
Me too.
They
I'm
didn't
a
have
big
those when I was young,
cartoon
but they had it when
fanatic.
my kids were young.
When your kids were young, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is the only reason I know this stuff is because my kids. You know what I mean?
My
Like
kids
I
are
would.
retired now.
Jen Ginger said, "For real, nobody wants to see Call of Duty: The Love Story."
Right?
Exactly. And these producers keep messing up. But if you haven't watched it yet, it's a little slow going. But once you get into it, seeming like it'll be a good thing. And I can't wait for Dragons.
Have you
Go ahead.
watched Breaking Bad?
Oh yes, of course.
Well, you know, that's my hometown, so I was familiar with all that. And but Breaking Bad, the commercial during the Super Bowl, Doritos. Did you see that? With
No, I don't think
I
so.
didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Well,
I missed it all.
oh, it was a great game, man. It was great.
I'm not a football fan.
Kyla is look. I don't even know who won the Super Bowl. I probably just lost like 50,000 subscribers. But
The Chiefs, I know that.
okay, Kyla said her name from the movie called Howl's Moving Castle, and then Gina's Reef said she loves it. I've not even heard of that, so I'm gonna have to go watch it now. Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
I will have watched it by next week. And I'm curious for all you geezers over here. I'm just kidding. I'm just old too. But have you seen Family Guy? Because that's what I think of when I think of like a adult cartoon. You've not seen Family
No.
Guy? Oh my.
But
I mean-
Family
South-
Guy is more humorous. Like usually
Right.
the anime stuff is more serious.
No, you're right.
Storyline.
I probably just offended Gina again. Sorry. It's not a comparison. Like when I think of adult cartoons, which are not animes and graphic novels, but when I think of adult cartoons, like you guys haven't seen
It's more
South Park?
adult concepts. It's more adult mental concepts. It's things that kids don't get.
Well, I think Disney has enough of that too.
They do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
There's a lot of that in kids' cartoons. Like we have a whole collection. We have the entire Betty Boop collection,
really.
which is really cool. And
Well,
I love like old Popeye and old
But,
cartoons.
you know-
Yeah, they show stuff that they couldn't show now.
Right. And
Controversial
Sean,
stuff.
now that we have the internet, now all the stuff, like I rewatched Bambi and was like, oh, wait, that meant that. And, you know, all these different cartoons that I watched, maybe my kids watched, whatever.
That was the
but I
first
see
movie I
that-
saw when I was a kid was Bambi.
Sorry, I'm reading the
I'm the one
comments
that-
too.
I'm the one that grew up with Mr. Ed, who was talking horse, of course, and this,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course,
I
you're
remember
talking the horse,
Mr. Ed.
famous Mr. Ed. Yeah, that my friend Flicka, Fury,
Hmm.
all the horse shows.
Wait a minute. Ray said he only watches news, hockey, documentaries, and Murdoch's murder mysteries. You know my son's dad's last name is Murdoch. But anyways, what's that about?
Murdoch
We're just
Mysteries.
rambling now. Yeah.
It's actually a television show that's been going for a lot of years now, and it was based on some books that were written. I can't pull out the name of the author right now. She's one of my favorite authors, but the storyline came from the books that she wrote, and then it's been expanded on since then. And I think it's getting a little out of hand now because they're putting modern stuff into the old time stories from early 1800s, early 1900s that didn't exist back then, and they're working it in, and it's just not the same now. But I still watch it because there's nothing else that I have an interest in.
Gotcha. Guys, that's my goal now. I'm going to make Ray watch an anime. No, I'm just kidding, Ray. The things kids watch today, kids shouldn't be watching. I can agree with that. Like my kids shouldn't have been watching Attack on Titan. I mean, they were eating people. You know, it was terrible, and desensitized all that stuff. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
my husband's 55 and he watches that.
Right,
He's
right. But
always been into that. We collect comic books, or we used to. I don't anymore, but we have a huge collection of the adult comic books like Lady Death and Evil Ernie and stuff most people have never heard of. But yeah, there's a whole genre of that kind of thing.
gotcha. And now I get the comments. I guess Gina or Zen's Reef. Oh my gosh, wine. Zen Ginger, I didn't even know you could gift memberships. I'm gonna have to talk to you on the side about how to do this stuff because you obviously know more than me. But cool. And yeah, I mean, Gina, Attack on Titan is more of a teenage anime. My girls are gonna be 16 on March 5th, but I'm still
They
like,
are teenagers.
yeah, they are, but still, you know. One of them's in the grades, spends too much time on anime and stuff, you know. But anyways, all right, we're hitting 10 o'clock right now. Any other Seahorse questions? Glad you're part of the Cool Kids Club, Gina. And Cheryl, Ray, Vincent, anything else you wanted to share, talk about that I cut you off on?
I have a
Let me
quick
think.
question. I almost
Okay,
forgot to ask you guys this.
please,
When I was,
go ahead.
I haven't ordered my mysids yet for the seahorses, but when I was reading their directions, they were talking about feeding the mysids fresh hatched brine shrimp.
I
But when
saw
we
that.
talked about it, we were talking about they'll eat like the stuff they find in the tank and the sump and stuff. So, do I really need to feed them per se, or can I just turn them loose in the tanks and let them go?
If you are you putting them in your main tank where you're feeding every day?
Yeah, but I don't want to feed them every day is the thing. I don't want to be raising them. I'm just getting a one-time thing. There's going to be 500 of them, which is a lot, I
I
imagine.
would
So
set
I
up.
just want to put them in the tanks and let them go. But are they going to die if I don't feed them the live shrimp in time?
I
Or
would put a bucket, fill up a bucket or some kind of large container.
hmm
All you really need is an airline, and
hmm
uh, you can add a little flow if you wanted to. You really don't need to. And depending on how fast you're planning on using them, you don't really necessarily need to do a lot of filtration on them. But you will need to feed them. And I would not feed them brine shrimp. You might as well feed them brine shrimp and save money if that's what you're going to do. That's kind
well,
of
I
my.
just don't want to start hatching live brine shrimp to feed the live mysids that I'm only getting them to be food for the tanks for a couple days or however long it takes them to eat them. I don't want all the work of them
Well,
really.
at 500, it's going to take a while. You don't have that many seahorses, trust me.
No.
The thing is, they're going to start reproducing as soon as they hit the tank. Of course, they're going to eat the babies if they can get to them, but that's beside the point.
So will they eat something like if I throw them in buckets? Will they eat something that's not live food? Can I feed them some
Yes,
fish
yeah.
food or something?
Ray's been trying to answer. Go ahead, Ray.
Crushed spirulina is what I
Yep.
used to feed the
I have that.
the mysids when I
All
was
right.
culturing the mysids and reselling them. And so in the larger tanks, that's what I use, the crushed spirulina flake. And in
Okay.
the young ones, the very early ones, I was using the rotifers and newborn artemia.
Yeah. See,
Now, how
they'll eat
about
just about anything.
temperature? Like as far as temperature, Like,
I never
are
worried
they
about
good
it.
with cold, or they're going to be okay if they're down in the 50s or so?
My basement probably runs between about 50, and at a high point, it might get up to 60, up to
Okay.
68.
All
And
right.
I never ran heaters in those
Okay,
gulches.
good.
I had 10 1-gallon tanks, or 10 10-gallon tanks
Mhm.
that I would put them in, because if you had one that was a week older than another mysid, then it was going to eat the younger one. It's not so
Gotcha.
much age, it goes by size. Some of them will grow faster. So when um, sometimes I would have to start hauling out some bigger ones out of a tank because they were growing a bit faster than the others,
Yeah,
and I'd have to move them up into an older tank.
gotcha.
Holly, are you going to
Well, I
try
guess
to keep them?
I'm not. No, I'm not too concerned about them eating each other because I really don't want them to stick around. I just
Yeah.
Gotcha.
wanted to have enough to give them a snack for a day, but you can't
Each-
buy the mysids in a small quantity. Like the smallest that they have is 500. So I really don't want to be raising mysids, but if I can keep them alive long enough to feed them to the seahorses,
If
then
you
if
got
I
raw
throw them in a
growth, yeah.
bucket with an airline and give them some spirulina now and
Yep.
then, they should be okay as long as they last.
Well, and I would mention this actually works for Artemia too, if anybody's looking at fry, because that's what Dan advised me to feed Artemia that I was uh, harvesting
Oh,
is
what
spirulina and then his enrichments. So you could
what are you trying to
actually
accomplish by
no,
feeding them?
wait, hang on. I remember now. He's rich Artemia and then feed the enriched Artemia to the mysids.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, but you're just giving a snack. You're not trying to,
I'm
go
not
overboard.
trying to keep the
Right,
mysids
right,
alive
right,
forever.
right.
But
No,
I
I just
have
meant to give them a
spirulina
power punch
powder.
vitamin snack, power punch
Yeah,
vitamin
I have
snack.
spirulina powder on hand from when I was raising brine shrimp and so I have it, so I can feed them that. I just didn't. I read that you feed them newly hatched brine shrimp, and I'm like, I don't want to be hatching brine shrimp again.
Right.
I didn't
No,
want
you
to
can
go
feed
through
them.
all the
okay. So
labor.
are you wanting to use these for fry or adults?
Mm-mm.
No. I'm just giving them. It's a birthday present for Dandy. Basically, I'm going to give all the seahorses some
Okay.
live food.
Okay.
So I don't have live food where I live. I have to order it.
Yep.
So I
The
found,
thing is,
remember Herb Hickok was on our show one
Yep.
time. He does U.S. mysids. So I went on his website, and the mysids, he does the smallest batch you can
yeah,
buy, or 500 of them. And
right.
I don't know how fast the seahorses go through them or how big they are. So I was just wondering, out of curiosity, what it's going to entail when I get these things.
500 is a lot. I'll tell you that right up front. That's why I was saying, were you going to try to raise them or what you were going to do with them? You don't know? Well, you don't know anybody near you that could use them, unfortunately.
No. I mean, I can ask at my local fish store if maybe they want some, if I can bring some to them
That
or
might
something.
work.
Sell them some. I don't know. But
I
I do
was gonna
know.
say, Herb is an awesome
Yeah.
guy. You should go watch the Wine Wednesday episode. He actually has it on his website,
Mhm.
which is freaking awesome. And
Mhm.
I've shared the website and I'm gonna contact him and ask him if maybe like there's not a
You do
way
a
that two
smaller amount.
people, well, or not just a smaller amount, or maybe like
The
if
problem is they'd have to ship to
me and,
2
well, hang on,
locations,
hang on.
though.
Right. If we'd be willing to pay the shipping
Mhm.
and ordered 500, would you send 250 here if we paid the
Mhm.
shipping? I bet you he would do that.
Mhm.
I bet you he would. I'll call him and I'll see if he won't come
Cool.
back on the show and we can talk more about it. And then
Nice.
you can really get your questions answered. I'll see. Now we
Nice.
got guests piling
But
up. Yay.
Dandy's probably getting his mysids next week or so. His
Woo!
birth
Make sure
his
to
birthday
video.
his birthday is about the same as Ray's. So
Mhm.
So you're
we'll
getting
celebrate
Ray.
Ray's
You're
birthday.
getting Ray
Oh, and my
Myson's crib.
birthday is Saturday.
Oh,
my
happy
celebration
birthday.
too.
Oh, we all
Birthday
got to
party?
remember to say happy birthday to Holly next week and Nandy. What? What, Ray?
My birthday's not till the 28th.
Ah,
That's about when Dandy's birthday is too.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
you
it.
missed my birthday. You can send
Or
me
his
some
designated
retaliation.
his designated birthday is March 1st. But it's roughly, I don't know the exact date, of course. I just went by the 5 months, when I got him. So
Uh,
it's about now sometime.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever talked to him, but he's a really nice guy, and he really tries to help people and work with people.
Yep.
And he might cut you a deal, giving you like 250 or something like that. I don't know if he would, if he could do it. He'd have to cover shipping on it.
It
But
can't hurt to ask, and he is such a nice guy. And the thing is, he came to this channel wanting to work with seahorse keepers.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
and I know it's hard for just for a hobbyist to buy
I've,
500. That's a little difficult. But for the
I've got
breeders that are
yeah,
watching, we need to get together and work with her.
I've got a T-shirt from him, and I've
Me too.
actually bought from him in the past, and that is one T-shirt that doesn't get worn unless I'm not going to be doing anything stupid.
Zen Ginger wanted to know: do they make
He's a
spirulina?
great guy to work with.
Absolutely agree. Zen Ginger wanted to know: do they make spirulina coated freeze dried mysis like they do freeze dried brine, or can dried food in salt water? And I think Ray, you started to answer, right?
well, they don't make a spirulina coated freeze-dried mysis, but any freeze-dried product is going to have to be rehydrated before you put it in. Otherwise, it'll just float on the top, and you don't want the seahorses snicking at the
Yeah.
top. But for the most part, they just won't go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I used freeze-dried copepods for fry, and had to rehydrate them before they were of any value then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting though. Rehydrated copepods. Do you
Yeah,
rehydrate with
bought them from,
RODI or
I bought them
tank
from
water?
Brine Shrimp Direct,
Mm-hmm.
and they're nice and small, so they're quite convenient to start the fry on. I wish I'd started it much earlier in my fry rearing
With copepods.
hobby, but yeah, because the copepods they did work out well, and it makes it an easy transition to get them from the live food at a much earlier age.
Well, I know Cheryl's working with copepods too, but first of all, do you rehydrate with RODI or tank water?
Well, I use
The thing is,
Hang on, Cheryl. Hang
the
on.
salt water.
if these
You
are
use-
I use
monster
fresh-
shrimp, you don't have to worry about feeding them. They'll eat each other in short order if they don't get eaten by something else.
No, she's not asking about mysid shrimp.
Talking about the
But
freeze.
yeah, and freeze-dried copepods, do they have the same nutrition though? As like regular?
Yeah, when you freeze
No, but
dry something, it's just like for my dog, I buy freeze dried liver. It has the same nutrients in it that fresh liver has. When you
Cool.
freeze dry it, it's not like cooking it. When you cook something, you destroy a lot of nutrition.
Right.
But when you freeze dry it, all the nutrition stays
Yeah.
there.
Gotcha. So you just rehydrate with tank water and good to go. And
Yeah.
they probably store longer and easier. You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to. Oh man, when I have fry, because I'm going to soon. We all know this. I'm gonna try that because that's
Brine
interesting.
Shrimp Direct has it.
Very good. And Holly, I'll try to get her back in here to like really question him about all this stuff and maybe see if we can't figure out how to negotiate. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Vincent, were you raising your hand? No?
No, I had to go get some blackberries.
Oh, blackberries. Interesting. Okay. All
Hey,
right.
any extra mysis shrimp that you have?
You'll take it, you said? Of course. You're working with
If you got a
copepods
reef
with fry,
tank,
aren't
do
you?
something.
Yeah, exactly, Ray. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
if
If you have a
you
reef
know
tank.
somebody around you that has a reef tank.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I really want to do more with.
I
like,
don't, other than the store. They do stuff like that because they have the tanks with all the corals and all that. But I don't know any aquarium hobbyists, period, where I live.
Right, I know. You're at wait, hang on.
Much.
You're in a remote part of, California, Holly, I know, but I do
Mhm.
want to do more with like not just the membership stuff on this channel, but like with Seahorse Keepers where we could do things like that. Like I found a seahorse, had no idea there's like 3 or 4 seahorses. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh,
And
wow.
we should be, working together to do these kinds of things, you know? What were
Mhm.
you going to say, Cheryl?
I was gonna say, if you're looking for copepods, get a hold of Chad Clayton at Reef Nutrition. It used to be,
Yeah.
I forget what we used to be called, and because you can get the apple Cyclops panamensis pods, which are perfect. The adults are perfect for larger, like erectus fry, and if you ever get any really small fry, the newborns are very tiny. They're
Mhm.
I forget they're less than 100 microns, as opposed to
And
over
that
600 as adults and over 900 as with brine shrimp. And they make it. I just seed my nurseries with them when I've got little fry.
that's
Does anyone you
awesome for
guys
fry,
know
but wait,
sell live mysis? Not the mycids, but mysis? I didn't find anybody that did. That's why I only found the mycids.
but you want the mysids
Mysids
anyways.
are the salt waters.
Right. So
Mysis
you
are the
want the
fresh
mysids.
waters, unless I'm
Gotcha.
mixing
So
them up.
they wouldn't last long enough probably in the tank for them. I mean, I'm not really it's more of a snack, so I'm not concerned really about how nutritious they are because they get their regular
Well, just
protein.
have them drop off some to me, drop off the shipment to me, and I'll send you a few.
No, well, wait. Before I
Nice.
forget what I was going to say, first of all, we're going to get her back on this channel so we can talk about the difference between mysis and mycid stuff because it is important. I know not to you right now, Holly, but just it is important overall to seahorse keepers and figuring out if there are dealers of both. But
Mhm.
I was going to ask back to the copepods. Cheryl, I know you talk about the Apex panamensis for the fry, but like in my case, my adult seahorses would never touch copepods.
No, they're too small. They're
Yeah.
what you need is to go to you need to go with either mysid shrimp or amphipods for adults.
I just wanted to get you to say that. That's all.
Yeah,
I just wanted to hear you say that for the channel. Ray,
yeah.
any other thoughts? You said the rehydrated ones are so much easier to keep though, right?
Yeah, it's so convenient and the economy of it. You don't have to worry about setting up any culture dishes. You just go to the freezer and get some out, throw it in. I don't even thaw it out. I just throw it in the water to hydrate it,
Mhm.
and once it's hydrated, then I'd dispense
Just
it into
pour
the
it
fry
in.
containers.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Well,
yeah.
Holly, you make sure that you videotape the birthday present because we want to see it
I will.
next week. And everybody remember to say happy birthday to Holly too next week or on
You
Saturday,
can say
right?
it now. It's going to be Saturday, so we're
All right.
almost there
Happy
anyway.
birthday to you. Okay. I'm not going to sing anymore
You
I
because
don't
I
don't
have
know
to
sing.
sing.
I was going to say
I don't
everybody would
sing.
leave.
I'll
I'll send
direct.
you. I'll send you a bottle of wine. How's that? But all right, guys, I am going to end it for tonight. We're past 2 hours. I love you all. Thank you so much for trying to play with this membership thing with me. Thank you for coming and sharing your stories and asking questions. That's what makes this fun. We're a community. Appreciate every single person here. And I appreciate you guys for coming and talking with me live because when I started this, I tried to do it with just me. Didn't work out. I needed you to come and, bounce off each other. Me just talking didn't work. So appreciate all of you. I will post on YouTube and on Facebook when we're going to have Robert King come back and when we're going to have Gina come back and when we're going to have Herb come back. So we've got some plans. I'm still doing the schedule thing with Dr. Tim. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, go check out his interview on Tank Talk with Tyann because that was fabulous for just the basics, even though it wasn't seahorse related. And Zen Ginger said a very
Thank
merry
you, Zen Ginger. Yeah, that's what it is. It's my unbirthday today.
right. But on
All
that,
unbirthdays. Happy unbirthday to all of us.
that's right. That's right. And I would
Happy
just
birthday
say,
to your seahorse.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, it's
happy
coming
birthday.
right up.
And I would just that we'll do more with this channel with your help. So, Zen Ginger's going to become my mod, I just saw, and we're going to figure some things out to expand, get more people in here, and just keep having fun. That's the point, community. But with that, I will say, I got to go to bed, guys. I got to work tomorrow. I'm sorry. So, everybody say cheers and happy Wine Wednesday. See you next
Cheers.
week.
Happy
Cheers.
Wine
Cheers.
Wednesday.